Well, hello, beautiful day, everyone. Can I get quickly a beautiful sound check? If y'all can let me know if y'all can hear me, that would be awesome. Can y'all hear me? It's saying there's only like one person in here, but there's people in the chat. If anybody in the chat, can you guys hear me? Can y'all put a one or a little heart or something and let me know that you guys can hear me? Okay.
Should I
Okay.
stay muted, do you think, for a couple minutes?
Ask them if they can hear you.
Okay. Hey, chat. Good morning. I love you all. Can you hear me? And can you hear Sunkissed? Type a one if you can. 5 by 5. 5 by 5. Okay, good.
Is that for you, or can they hear both of us?
That's a good question. Can you hear Sunkissed?
Can y'all hear me? Okay, awesome. Thank you, Queen. Okay, okay, Mary, if you'll mute up for me, I'm gonna do the singing bowl and
You
pull
got
our
it.
affirmation card and do our thing. So beautiful day, everybody. Much love to you guys, and thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day to join us. I'm going to get started. We're going to get started right here. We're going to do our little singing bowl to start it off with, and then our positive affirmation cards and do chat and then get going, okay? Here we go. I love it. Okay. I'll put that up. And I'm going to shuffle these cards, and we're going to get our affirmation for the day. I hope everybody is doing well. I'm doing pretty good. Not feeling physically on the bright side, but let's see. Okay, our positive card, our affirmation for today is okay. I feel great about myself and my future. I feel great about myself and my future. I feel great about myself and my future. So there we go. Okay, I'm going to go really quickly through the chat and say hi to everybody. Okay. Okay, beautiful day. Hey, Christos. Beautiful day. Let's see who else. And you guys, please sub to Christos's channel. He did his first video. Was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? So yay! I'm gonna start putting everybody's channel in the description, and Mary's channel as well. I'm gonna start putting everybody's channel in the description. Beautiful day, OTW. I'm really glad to see you. So much love to you. So much love to you. Beautiful day. Thank you for being here. Beautiful day, Jimmy. Hey, much love to you. Hi, Ian. Much love to you. And Sally Sue. Sally Sue, much love to you. Y'all send positive thoughts of healing and everything else to Sally Sue. She's at her appointment. So please keep her up. Jamie's Madhouse, much love to you. Let's see. Queen of Swords, much love to you. And I think that's it. Oh, Amongst Us. So much love to you. Hi. It's so good to see you. Can you believe it? I'm doing this I'm doing the lives. I never thought I would be. Oh, I need this after what happened after the stream yesterday. Oh, Ian, much love to you. Um, Mark, beautiful day. Thank you for being here. Oh, sweet sugar. Thank you so much for being here, mamas. I love you so much. I really do. I think I think that's it. So we are caught up. Thank you. Okay. So before we begin, I'm gonna say um we're going to be talking about a lot of things, like I always say, and we might slip into things talking about natural remedies, herbs, essential oils, and things like that. So we are not medical professionals, and this is we're not giving out any type of medical advice. This is a disclaimer. If you have any questions or you're curious about any of the things that we talk about as far as home natural remedies, please consult your own primary care physician, and that's with all things. And make sure you consult your child's pediatrician if you have any comments or concerns about anything that we are talking about here. And remember, please, I know what I say and what we may say on here may not resonate with all people. That's fine. It doesn't have to be, but please take what resonates with you, and take your beautiful roses, take those petals and leave the thorns. And much love to you. So Mary, Mary's gonna
Hello,
say
hello.
hi.
Hi, everybody. I'm happy to be here. Happy to be back to our Thursday. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, much love, guys. It's going to be a great one.
Yes. And so, as you can tell in the title, we're going to be talking about love and gratitude. I am really, really big on Dr. Masaru Emoto's his work, and I read his book many years ago, and I started rereading it recently. And so, we're going to get as far as we can. We're not, going to try to be here an hour, no longer than an hour and a half. But I have his book, The Hidden Messages in Water. Um, and I'm going to read a couple of quotes from there because this is kind of like the basis of what we're going to be talking about today. Uh-oh, hold on. Okay. I practically remember one photograph. It was the most beautiful and delicate crystal that I had so far. Oh, and in case anybody, let me stop. In case anybody doesn't know, Dr. Emoto, quick background, he did this study with water, and he found that we have the ability with our not only with our words, but with our thoughts and our intentions to change the molecular structure of water. And that he put they would say, really bad, like negative words to different water samples, and their water molecules and their water crystals were so distorted and ugly. But he would say words like thank you, I love you, and gratitude and things like that, and the crystals were so beautiful. So just a little background. Anyway, um formed by being exposed to the words love and gratitude. It was as if the water had rejoiced and celebrated by creating a flower in bloom. It was so beautiful that I can say that it actually changed my life from that moment on. Water had taught me the delicacy of the human soul and the impact that love and gratitude can have on the world. Second quote. Out of the desire to help as many people as possible remain or become healthy, I had worked for years taking care of the sick. And the more afflicted people that I see, the more I became convinced that illness is not just an individual problem, but a result of the uh, deformation of society as a whole. Unless something is done about the deformed world that we live in, and unless we can heal the wounded soul, love that part, the number of people suffering from physical illness will not decline. Quote number 3. But all is not lost. There is hope. There is salvation, and it's called love and gratitude. The earth is searching. It wants to be beautiful. It wants to be the most beautiful that it can be. Earlier, I said that we could define the human being as water. I'm quite certain that water in the people who look at the photographs of crystals undergoes some form of change. And I have found the most beautiful crystal of all, one created by love and gratitude. This is supposedly what all the world's religions are founded on. And if that were true, there would be no need for laws. You already know the answer. Love and gratitude are the words that must serve as the guide for the world. Water teaches in a very clear way how we must live our lives. So, so what do you think about that, Mary, as far as like the
Oh,
power?
that's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. Let me tell you, this morning when I was going over everything in my mind about what I would say, and because I am familiar with Dr. Emoto's work, um, what I thought is exactly what and I have not read his book, full disclaimer, but what those quotes just portrayed to me was what my brain was telling me and how it was making me feel, down to our bodies and how we are composed of this water, and how society, basically by every little thing, and we've touched on this in a previous stream, but every little word, every vibration, every piece of music we listen to can internally affect ourselves. And as a whole, on this entire world, if we're all doing these little things that are affecting our water, what do our crystals show on the insides of our bodies? What kind of crystal are we forming? And some of us are beautiful, and we can see that, and a fair amount of us are not these beautiful crystals that he's talking about. Wow.
Yep, yep, I totally agree. And it amazes me how with water and looking at its makeup and looking at the words we use. Now, I'm not big, I'm going to tell you this. Years ago, years like a decade or plus ago, I studied and did the whole etymology thing, and now it's just not my thing because when it's not just our words, it's our intentions, and our intentions in my opinion, have greater power than our words. And so I feel like when we say, oh, we can't say this type of word because the etymology of the word is this or that, it puts a cap on our power, and it puts a cap on what we can do. If we can change the molecular makeup and structure of water and the things that we eat, how much greater are we able to change the frequency and vibration of the words we speak? I know what I mean when I'm saying bless you or be blessed. I know I'm not saying be less as the etymology word states. I know I'm saying be blessed, be blissful. I want the best for you. So I'm not, because for me personally, I kind of went crazy. It was like, oh, I shouldn't say this word, don't say that word, but that was where I was at that point in time. And some people are there. So our intentions are greater than our words because everything starts in the ethers, everything starts with thought. So absolutely right. And you're so right. What are we looking like on the inside? You know?
That's right. What I do want to say, I want to go back to what you were just talking about. So I'm with you. I'm not super into the etymology. I know a lot of people are into it. And you know what? More power to you. And at one point I was just like what you were explaining, where I was, especially after seeing all these things about like the movie The Secret, and how you're secretly, telling yourself the wrong thing or whatever. So that always, I was always nervous that I was doing that, right? But and now, for the record, I don't feel so much like that. But what I do think is that when we're making the connections in our brain growing up, probably starting at a young age, our brains do associate certain words with certain feelings, and the neurons, the neural pathway and everything, the connections are already formed. So I do believe certain words, automatically are going to make an internal connection in your brain, even if you're not outwardly feeling like that. I think a lot of you have to really unprogram yourself to free all of that and I'm not saying it's any particular person's fault. I just think society, and we can get into, they, them, those bad people, whoever, the modern education system, all of that. I think that has kind of made these pathways subliminally into our brains. But overall, I agree with you. I'm not into this whole, like, I can't say this or I can't say that. I believe intention is everything. And that even comes to talking about their creator. The creator knows your intention. You can tell me all day with a smile on your face that you mean something, but at the end of the day, your intention is there, and intentions cannot lie. It's there no matter what. It's black or it's white. It's there. So I agree.
Absolutely. And you can say one thing, but your vibration, your frequency can be of something else. You can say, I have this intention, but I've encountered so many people in my life where they say these things, or they're like, oh, I'm this and I'm that. And I'm like, no, that's not what your vibration, your frequency is telling me. So it's really
100%.
awesome. Yes, so I totally agree with you, mamas. That was very well spoken, and I love it. So we're going to be talking about love, and I just want to say that it's not, there are several different types of love, several different types of relationships. It's not just the intimate relationship. It's not just the relationships between a man and a woman or your partner, but everybody has different types of love. I will not love my divine masculine the way that I love my children. I will not love, my friend the way that I love my children. It's different levels of love, but the basis is that love is in all its forms and types. It's like the most powerful love and gratitude, the most powerful emotions and that we have here on this plane of existence and frequency. So um, and that all begins with self-love. To some, it may be, when I talk about self-love, it may be, redundant, going over and over. I will keep talking about self-love because that's the start and basis of how we start to know ourselves and how we start to win this war. But love is just the beautiful mutual exchanging between yourself and another person. Or, you have people that say, I don't want to be in a relationship. And so that's fine, between you and your friends, or you and your family, or you and your pet, or you and your plant. It's just a beautiful exchange of that type of energy that has been proven that we need it. We need love on a physical, not just a spiritual level, but we need it on the physical as well. And so that brings me into the study. Now I'm going to be reading a couple of articles, not art, the whole thing, but snippets from the articles, and Mary as well. And those articles are in the description box as well. And so there's an article where it's called Why Children Need Love. So we're going to be talking about the love that a child needs, the love that a parent needs from a child, and that mutual exchange of love, or the lack of that love. And so for this article is called Why Children Need Love to Grow. And it's by David Hamilton. And this is from March 14th, 2014. And so pretty much for the first 24 months, it's very crucial in the development of the child in their let's see, orbital frontal cortex, that part of the brain which is behind the orbits of the eyes. It is so crucial for that child, the first 2 years of their life, to have love and loving connections. And it has been proven that if an infant is born into an environment that lacks that love and lacks that warmth and lacks um, that nurturing, the brain is hugely affected, by it. And a lack of love and emotional warmth and physical contact, it really basically slows down the growth and the growth mechanism in the brain and the body. So I thought that was really neat. And Mary, you had something to say about orphanages. I really want to hear that.
Yes, and I encourage anybody who is interested in looking into, a little bit of a bizarre and, slightly disturbing series of events. I would encourage anybody to look into this. there was something going on, and I want to say it was back in the 90s, but I read about this a few years ago about the feral children of Russia and Europe, and I believe it was all over that area, where either their parents were killed, sent off to war. I don't really remember exactly why there was no parents, but there was a bunch of these kids who were either left in orphanages with very bad caretakers who just left them sit in the crib with no nurturing, no physical contact, no emotional support whatsoever. But there was also children that were left out to be on their own starting at a very young age, which is where these terms of like raised by wolves has come from, because literally children were just off on their own. And they did a huge study on this because there were so many kids that were just not developed. They didn't develop speech. They were highly aggressive. They were self-destructive. They would hurt themselves. They would hurt other people. There was all sorts of terrible problems that arose because this group of children and several groups of different children were just completely neglected. I mean, and again, the ones that were in the orphanages, they were seeing, they had human contact, but basically it was, maybe to give them some food. They didn't pick them up. They didn't speak words of love to these children because they didn't love them. They were probably a burden on the system. And, these people who were charged with caring for these babies and these young kids did not care about them at all. And you could see physically and psychologically just the damage that happens from that. And it's awful. It's awful.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. Uh, Peace to you, Red Squid. Thank you for joining. Much love to you. And that's really, really awful. And a lot of people may say, I don't need love. I don't need that emotion. I don't want love, whatever. And, as we grow up, our environments and different circumstances that we go through hurts us in a way and pushes us away from certain aspects of love. But for me, in my opinion, deep down in all of us, on the internal part of us, we all seek and desire some form of love and some form of connection. It's just within us. And when you look at a baby that's being born, when a baby comes out, leaves the warmth and comfort of their mother's womb, the baby doesn't come out seeking, I need to seek this wisdom, I need to fight this war, or I need all this knowledge, I need this truth. A baby comes out seeking one of two things. The first thing, they are seeking that frequency of love and connection. They are searching. Your child, a baby being born is certain. We don't even remember where we are, what we're doing here, but we're seeking that connection and that frequency of love. And that's apparent. You can tell that when that baby comes out and that baby goes to, that mama. And I'm talking about with a beautiful, you have some mothers and some parents who don't want their children. So that connection is
Mm.
already off the bat not there. But I'm talking about for a loving mother, a loving father, and that baby gets attached and that baby gets its fill. That baby will stop crying laying on its mother's chest or being next to the mother's skin, which is why they encourage the skin to skin. So those frequencies and those emotions and those beautiful exchanges of energies can be felt by both, and it's so healthy. So the baby doesn't come in talking about, I need all knowledge and wisdom. The baby comes in talking about, I need love. And it's just within our spiritual, not only our spiritual nature to seek out love, but it's also in our spiritual nature. And so, and like I said before, it's not us all seeking the same type of love. There's different levels of love, but we're all seeking love in a sense.
Oh, you're so right. And all that baby does, the baby says, "Give me love, and my life is already great." And everything can fall into place from that spark of love and connection and the flow. I mean, even the flow of chemicals that are released into our body when we get the feeling of love. And that goes from, children, spouses, beautiful friendships. It all, I mean, it just pumps us full of the love hormones. So that's a physical change. We could see that. And I can't imagine, well, I've met people who say, I don't need love, or, they're coming from a total place of hurt and rejection at some point in their life, which is so sad. And my heart goes out to those people. And I hope they can find meaningful relationships at some point. But yeah, we would be nothing without love. And you could see it because we meet people who haven't had love in a long time, and you could just tell that they're missing it. They're missing it. It's very sad.
And yes, it is. And so, and it goes back to Dr. Emoto's study, the distortion of those who had so of the water, who was exposed to all the negative, all the hate, or all the just low vibrational, low frequency words. It was a distortion within that water, within the makeup of that water. Look at the people who are exposed to environments lacking of love, and so you don't get a chance to even develop self-love. So you become, you just like you said at the beginning, you that distortion is within inside of you, because you start off not even knowing the love of a parent or the love of someone, and then you don't develop that self-love. And and just like you said, it's not about the romantic relationships. It's about love in general, you know.
That's right. That's right. Building meaningful relationships. It's so funny and it's so cliche, but of course, we've always heard the phrase, you need to love yourself before you can love somebody else. And that, I mean, as I get older, there's no more truer words to speak about it, because really, if you don't love yourself, when you love yourself, you're almost filling in a hole. And when that hole is filled, then you can devote yourself to somebody else. But if that hole is there and it's gaping, anytime you try to love somebody else, you're building a hole in them too, because you can't, it's just impossible to do it. You're taking your resentment and you're putting it on them. You're never fully giving somebody your love if you do not love yourself fully.
Exactly. How are you able to continuously properly pour your cup of love into someone else when you're always dry? And
Mm,
so and
that's
so
it.
that that is what I'm talking about. We get into these relationships, or we get into different situations with people, and we don't have that self-love. And so what we're actually feeling is not love at all. It's like in my opinion, because you're not properly loving yourself, you know? And then once you start learning to love yourself and build that self-love, because it's a continuous thing every day, then you will begin to understand and benefit the fruits of beautiful balancing relationships. And then when you have that self-love and you have that love, like you said, it helps you create those boundaries, where other people's lack of self-love won't hurt you, or you won't be affected by someone who doesn't have that self-love.
Oh, that's great. Where is Ian's bomb drops when you need them?
Oh,
Holy
pew, boom,
moly.
boom.
Boom, boom.
Oh
Shoo.
no.
We
Oh
got our
my
own
goodness.
sound effect over here. That was just so amazing what you just said. And you hit on something, and I don't know if you even fully knew you hit on it. All of these things are kind of creating an artificial sense of love. So it's not natural and organic, but it's a half created, again, it's an artificial caricature of what real love is. And the more we go into the future, we see more of this. Not, admiration, but infatuations, and like we're developing weird habits to replace what is so abundant in us naturally, but it's almost like some people are getting it tweaked out of them, so we're filling ourselves with these artificial loves, but that's not real, and that's not how you sustain your soul and your spirit,
Mhm.
and grow into the future. You can't do that with these fake artificial things that we fill ourselves with.
Yes, my goodness. Before I continue, because I have something to say about that. RT, beautiful day. Thank you for joining. Perilous. Hey, mamas, thank you for joining. Much love to you. Even if it's just for a moment, you do what you have to do, and I appreciate it. We appreciate it so much. Um, the Age of Goddess. I don't know if I said hello to you, but such a beautiful day. Thank you for being here. And Rick Beck, thank you. What's up? Beautiful day. I think I said something to Mark, and oh, sun, beautiful day, and thank you so much for being here. And I'm going to get back to what you said about, what we were talking about, not being real love and it being artificial. You are not walking in your authentic self. So you can't be authentically you. And it's just like, this is how I feel about emotions. I've said this on Ian's platform before. Some people may feel like emotions are programs and part of this matrix systems, but emotions are not programs to me, because if they were programs, then the AI systems wouldn't be studying them. These systems of control wouldn't be pushing meds and other things on us to detach us from our emotions, to detach us from love. And then they replace the
Mm.
very things, like when we go through things, our bodies, I'm jumping ahead, but oh well, our bodies release those chemicals, those things that we naturally have when we get triggered, or when we're low, or when we're happy, that helps sustain our bodies. So they cut us off from the natural things and replace it with an artificial AI version of what is naturally ours. Just like with the medications, they take us away from Mother Nature. They take us away from what cayenne pepper can do, or from what lavender can do, or from what coconut oil can do. And they give us all these different types of pills with names that we can't even pronounce. And it's a synthetic form, and it does us more harm than good, in many cases, not medical advice. So you're absolutely right, Mary. I'm glad you said that.
Oh man, you went right there with it. That is beautifully said, and you're right. Serotonin, right? We need serotonin to feel alive and to feel happy. And what are these pills? They're to help build up your serotonin because it's completely depleted. Our cortisol levels get shot through the roof, so they want to give you something else to help you maintain, a stress-free life and all this stuff. You know, it's crazy because no, we don't want to be overstressed, right? But stress is an indicator, and it's a very important indicator to our bodies. If we numb ourselves with these artificial chemicals instead of working through, the mechanisms that are innate to human beings, we're setting ourselves up for such a downward spiral. It's insane. So I'm happy to have this community where, you know what, and listen, again, not medical advice. I know a lot of even my family members have needed, medications to control like severe mental illness. So I'm not talking about that. We're not suggesting that nobody could ever needs it, but when we're living in again this AI like faux reality, we are going to need AI faux chemicals and things to balance us out. And if you don't need it, you shouldn't be taking it. And so I'm so happy to be in a community where, you know, should there ever be a bad scenario, can you imagine what's going to happen if something goes wrong and these people are without their pills? Forget it. You know what I mean? I
Hmm.
think about that
Hmm.
all the time. These people are dependent on pharmaceuticals. What is going to happen to our world when their pills are cut off? I mean, you think the zombie apocalypse, get the hell out of here. These people are going to be off the rocker. Mm.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And it's not even, you know, even just with the pills, how is one going to make it and sustain themselves? How are you going, something as basic sanitation? If everything goes down, or if there's a storm, not even saying, oh, this is going to happen, say like you have a storm and everything goes out and your toilet isn't working for like 3 weeks. Most people do not know basic sanitation, what to do, how to dispose of your poo poo, how to properly get rid of it, where to put it, and what it can be used for. Nobody knows. We've been so separated from the natural and from things that we, in times past, our parents and our grandparents, our great grand, all the way back did so automatically. It was taught. This is how
Yeah.
you do it. This is how you sustain yourself. This is what happens if we don't have, they don't have electricity. People get, you know I'm very fortunate. I have family that live in West Africa. Some live in the big cities, some live in the villages. But, people are like, how do we preserve meat? My family in the villages, they don't have refrigerators. They don't have, like, when all this stuff was happening, yeah, it really didn't, not saying that things weren't happening. It really didn't affect them. They were just going about their life, drying their fish, farming, doing what they have to do, having their lamps, having their whatever. So we got to get back to the basics of everything, including the basics of loving ourselves. So I'm so glad you brought that up, girl, because what will happen when we are so, to a person or people who are so dependent upon these medications, and there's plants and herbs out there that will do the same thing, if not better. So my suggestion, not medical advice, is if you're on some type of medication, see what, keep doing what you have to do for you, but see, just in case there's a backup with your medication, you can't get it because something happens. What is the natural alternative that you can use for yourself to sustain yourself or to sustain your loved ones, because you can always dry herbs.
Oh, you're spot on. Man, you just said so many different things there. You're so spot on though with the going back even to the sanitation and all these different things. We've been um divorced, let's say. We've been divorced from the way our ancestors and everybody did this for so very long. And it really is a recent phenomenon that we have here where we are completely dependent on somebody else for our source of food, water, again, sanitation. None of this was like this even 100 years ago. That's a very short time to be domesticated. We've been domesticated to the point of, we're like infants with a lot of this stuff. Not I'm not talking about us, because actually a lot of us here are, we know what's going on. But I don't
Yeah,
know as
yeah,
much
of
as I
course.
should. Yeah, yeah, again, not a lot of, I'm sure a lot of people here know what's up, but for the majority, they really have zero idea what's going on. Again, with preserving meat, it's so funny. My husband just made beef jerky, and this time he did it in the oven, but normally, because his family is actually, they're Native American, normally what he would do is dry it with a box fan. No, now I'm telling a disclaimer on this too. I'm not here to give you meat preservation tips or anything like that. We follow the USDA recommended, preservation techniques here. Um, but you know what
I
I'm saying?
love it.
But for real, you know what I'm saying? There is a way to do it. There is a way to do it without electricity, and people have no idea about that. You know what I mean? It's insane.
People have survived for centuries, for whatever, on doing these things this way. And then you have these regulations by a system that is forever enslaving us in one way or another, telling us that what my grandma told me to do is hurtful, unsanitary, and it can cause illness and death, when the very medication, the commercials tell you, take this for your headache, but it might cause internal bleeding. Your heart may stop beating. You may become depressed and have suicidal thoughts. Okay, I think I'll just stick with the headache. It's absolutely, we got to get back to the basis of everything. I don't even know how we got on here, but it's wonderful.
We went down a little trail, I know, but it all does circle back. It's all connected. Um, yeah, and really though, getting back to being in love with ourselves and being in love with each other, it really is that, it's that simple, and it's that innate in all of us, and we need it. We need it, and we cannot fill ourselves up with artificial love and again, infatuations, and uh, fake lusts for these things that are not even real. None of that is even real. You know what I mean? It's a very bizarre scenario where we live. It's almost I don't know, like, Twilight Zone-ish sometimes when you see
Hmm.
people and all you see is the glow of their phone in their face. Now, when I go to my daughter's bus stop to wait for her, um, I bring a book, a real book made of paper. Okay. Now, everybody around, it's like I'm in a very again, it's like bizarro world. Everybody around me is buried in their phone. They don't talk to anybody. And here I am reading a book, and they probably look at me like I'm some whack job who can't afford a phone or something. You know what I mean? That's probably what they're thinking of me. Uh, but well, honestly, I don't really care about that. But this is like the upside down world, completely upside down world.
Yes. No, I totally agree. Like, okay, for me, when it's dinner time, except for on the weekends or whatever, we eat at the table, me and my babies. There's no TV, no cell phones. We eat, we talk about what is happening to us, what our day was like, what da 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 da, let's laugh, let's do whatever. Excuse me. And when we go to a restaurant, one of the saddest things, I don't even have to point it out because no phones are allowed at the table. But you go to these restaurants and they have all these gadgets and everything. I see a family. This hurts my heart. I see people, couples on a date, and both of them, or everybody, including the children, are on their phone. And it breaks my, I said, there is such a separation. And it brings me back to, you talk about the artificial. Look at, look at all these. We are a society that praises the artificial. Look at all these snap, or I don't even know the, I don't even know the social media. What is that? The Snapchat and
Yes.
um what else? What is that thing?
TikTok.
TikTok. Okay,
Yes.
you
Oh
have
God.
all these TikTok celebrities and YouTubers who get on here and they do their makeup or they do this or they're primping this way and say I live this way, but they're truly not. They're truly not, and it's an artificial life. But people don't care. People gravitate towards the artificial. People praise the artificial. And when you're not artificial, you, like you said, you're looked at like, what? I'm like, take this gadget away from, the table. And the waitress is like, or the server is like, what? I'm like, no, take it away. Because they have the little games and stuff.
Oh, yes. They even
And I'm like,
have
take
that
this.
there.
I go, take this away right now. We don't need it. And so there's the breakdown. There's the breakdown of love. There's that breakdown of that loving connection. If we were connected in the way that we were supposed to be, we wouldn't need to be entertained by these artificial things. Hey, Lizo French, I'm so glad that you're here. Much love to you. I had to say that before we went on. And Christos. Um, oh, you keep getting unsub from me. I don't know why they keep, I don't know why. I got unsub from a couple of people's channels, especially recently. Um, just keep subbing back, boo boo. But anyway, back to the artificial. It's artificial love, artificial food,
Mm,
artificial time, artificial lives. We praise the artificial here. So good point,
that
mamas.
that's insanity. I completely forgot that yes, they put these little whatever, it's a little gadget on the tables. They don't give out crayons and paper anymore for the little kids to draw. They have a little tablet thing on. Oh my God. I completely forgot about that, but you're 100% right. What a social engineering that is, right? So
Hmm.
if you don't bring your little kid a phone or you don't bring your little kid a tablet, here we have one for you because it's not a big deal that you got your blue light screen on your poor little 2-year-old face while you're eating dinner. Holy moly, that's wild.
Exactly. And I've seen children have complete meltdowns
Mm,
because they don't have their tablet. I'm
mm.
like, oh, are you kidding me? Uh, I mean, I'm talking about, you would think that they lost their dog or their grandma died because they want their tablet. I read an article a couple of weeks ago. It popped up on my thing where I think he was 10 or 12. He shot his mama because, yes, he shot his mama because she wouldn't give him this electronic, or she stopped his Amazon order. Girl, he shot his. You see the different things that they're programming our babies with. And, I'm not really good at speaking about like AI and stuff like that. We leave that to Ian,
Yeah.
but I'm totally the things that they're putting in our brain and the things that they're putting within us, creating these thoughts because we're vibing at such a frequency that we are attracting these things. And so it's easy for AI and these systems to control us. But look at how easy it is with these children. My mom didn't give me the electronic that I wanted, or she took it away. So I'm going to shoot her. Where and there it is again. We replace much needed value, quality time with our children. And believe me, I know it's hard. People are working, parents are working, caregivers are working, people are tired, people are strung out. But I see the same people who are working and strung out, they have 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and an hour to be on the TikTok and to be on YouTube and to be this, that. You could take 15 minutes of that hour and give to your children. We all need that little bit of time. Believe me, I know we need that little bit of time, but you could give 15 minutes to your child and you could build that loving bond, keep it strong, and keep that self-love within that child so we won't be down this road. And I know it sounds redundant and it sounds so simple, but it starts with love, self-love. And when we, instead of replacing our love and our attention with our children, with the tablet or the TV, do it with love. Don't get me wrong. My children are in there while I'm doing this. They're watching a movie because mommy is doing this, but I give them so much of my time and my energy. I'm not saying, oh, don't let your children watch movies or don't let your children do this, but you need to limit that. And if your child is spending more time with these artificial things and these artificial people than you know what I'm saying, then there's a problem, in my opinion. Give your babies a little bit of your time so they don't need validation from these outside entities to find security, to find comfort, and to find love.
Oh, you said it. That's right. Um, uh, oh man, I could say so much about this. Now, I don't want to be like this like boomer who's against video games and all this stuff, because we had video games and well, I had Super Mario for, Super Nintendo, but anyway, now I can really see what people were talking about when they talked about the violent video games. Because let me tell you what, okay? Some of this stuff is really crazy. And these kids are playing it for like 10 hours straight, 10 hours straight, and they wear these headphones. And let me tell you something, and this is how I know it's like really whacked out. Um, my husband had bought, because he does play, I'm not gonna lie, he does play video games. He plays like Call of Duty or, whatever. Not that much, maybe an hour here and there. But one day he was playing some weird game and then he wound up turning it off and he said, "You got to listen to this." He put the headphones in my ears, okay? And you could hear. Now, he was not playing online, okay? So there was no other people. This was the video game itself. You could hear the, it was like the audio of the video game whispering in his earphones saying, "Go kill them, go kill them."
Oh
Shit
my,
like that. It
oh my
was
goodness.
sun kissed, and it was a very scary, it was a scary video game, okay? I'm not gonna lie about that, but I'm like, if you are sitting there listening to this, playing this crazy video game, and you have somebody whispering in your ear all these scary things, what is that doing to your brain? What is that doing to young kids who are doing it for 10 hours at a time? After that, I said, you can't be playing that, babe, because you're going to turn into some, who the hell knows, to be honest with you. I don't know. But and I don't want to overreact about it, but I do believe that that is also a social engineered thing, because they know certain people will flip out and get crazy, and then they could use whatever event, to roll something out. There's a whole rabbit hole about that. We won't get into it. But these things like this really bother me, especially with really young kids that are just on it and their parents are out. And I agree with you. We all need our time. We all need this and that. And my little daughter got a tablet a couple years ago for Christmas, and once in a while she'll play it. But I am not afraid to take it away from her. I am not afraid to let her cry for it. And I even tell my mother-in-law, I love my mother-in-law, okay? But my mother-in-law is like, "Oh, just let her play it if you need a minute." I'm like, "You know what? No, because even if it's going to make me a little bit more stressed out while I'm doing something, this tablet is not a pacifier. This is not a comfort blanket. And I don't want her going to it like an addict would, because we are addicted to our little screens and our technology. I don't want her growing up with that. She's so young. You know what I mean? But it's very
Mm-hmm.
commonplace now. Even the
Mm-hmm.
lady at the bus stop, her son is younger than my daughter. Her son is like 3 years old, and even before school, he's on her phone. He's sitting there playing with her phone, 3 years old, waiting for the bus. Like, this is weird, man. I mean, my kid runs around at the bus stop, and she's a little wild, but I'm not gonna put her on a phone to make her sit and wait like a good little girl, like a good little zombie. Real
Mm-hmm.
weird. That's weird
Oh,
stuff.
no, you're speaking straight facts. I will be grocery shopping, and I have a 10-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 2-year-old who's almost 3. And so he'll get antsy and he'll be like, ah, and he'll see other kids, there are other toddlers in the basket holding a phone. Don't
Mm,
get me wrong, I let him watch dinosaurs sometimes on my phone, and my daughter will be like, you want me to put dinosaurs on? No, he's fine. And if he's upset about it, he's fine. He'll be okay. And you have people which I really don't care. If people don't know that by now about me, I really don't care what you think about me. If it, in a negative way, but will look at me like, why don't you just give him the phone? No, he's 2. And when I was 2 and 3 years old, I didn't have a phone. We entertained ourselves. We went outside and things like that. So you're absolutely right. They're becoming codependent on AI. Our phones, our tablets, these children are growing up thinking that these are their best friends, and the only way that I can be comforted is not by mommy, not by daddy, not by uncle, not by auntie, not by grandma. It's my little cell phone or it's my little tablet. And that's why I said you have children who will, it's like crack. And if you take it away from them, they will have a breakdown. That's a problem. And so, I'm so glad you're bringing this up. Dave Walker, much love to you. Thank you so much for joining us here today. Beautiful day to you. Thank you. And so, yeah. Oh, okay, real fast, we're going to get back to, I told you we're not even going to get to gratitude today, people. So this is just going to be there's going to be a part 2 to this. But okay, so we're going to talk about, there's another article, 11 scientific facts about romantic relationships, that made our hearts tingle with joy. That's the name of the article. It's in the description box. Now, we talked about the child parent relationship and love and the need for that connection and that type of love. Now, this is for people who are in a relationship or who are desiring a relationship, who are seeking out, partnership, because a lot of people are single by choice. A lot of people aren't single by choice, but for, I think more people than not, or I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. Anyway, so here's the article. I'm going to read this little line right, word for word, right here. Although maintaining a fulfilling relationship sometimes calls for hard work, all of us strive to enjoy the blissful moments that love has to offer. According to science, being in love may be extremely rewarding, not only emotionally, but also physically. It has the ability to alleviate stress, reduce pain, heal wounds, and a plethora of other unexpected side effects. So, I'm not saying it's going to be the cure all, and I'm not talking about being in a relationship that's so not balanced. I'm not talking about being in an Ike Turner, Tina Turner type relationship, because that's not a true form of love in its authentic, raw, beautiful energy, because it's a beautiful mutual exchange of give and take. Not saying that your divine masculine or your divine feminine, you're not going to clash on some things, but you have this mutual respect and love for one another. It's this balancing love that we're talking about as far as couples, okay? So, number one, it has been found that couples' hearts synchronize. Scientists from the University of Illinois found that couples who have been together a long time subconsciously sync up when close together, as recorded and measured by using electronic monitoring devices in 10 senior couples in long-term relationships. Um, it can also be chemically addictive, being in love. It also lowers your blood pressure. It also, and you can cut in at any time if you want to speak on anything. Okay, mamas.
I got you.
Um,
You got it.
it lowers your blood pressure. Once again, I'm not talking about the Ike Turner type love. Okay. It also cuts headache frequency in half. um, your compassion may begin to change in your brain, in your chemical makeup of your brain for compassion. Love can be a powerful painkiller. It can make you a better person, according to some studies. After following 245 young couples for 9 months, scientists found that being in a loving relationship made pessimistic partners more self confident and optimistic. And I'm going to say this, when you have that love from your divine masculine or divine feminine, it helps you not only maybe build up your self-love and your self-worth, but it also helps you maintain it. You know what I'm saying? It's giving and taking. It's giving and taking. And when somebody acknowledges and shows appreciation and gratitude for your love, you do it right back. So it's beautiful to me. Um, you want to say something, Mama? Say something.
Oh no, I was just gonna say you're absolutely right. And relationships, they could be tough sometimes, right? When
Yeah.
you love somebody, it's a work towards the same goal. So sometimes relationships, and ideally should be 50-50, right? But sometimes in a loving relationship, it's 95-5. And you get through that, you get over that hump, and you get back to, harmony and syncing up with each other. But love is like that. You know what I mean? That's all I want to say.
Well, I will say this. There are times where you have to carry or help sustain your partner.
Mm,
There are times your partner will have to help carry you. That's why your partner has strengths that you don't have, and you have strengths that your partner doesn't have. And
yeah.
it's a mutual exchange. Now, if you're in a relationship where all the time it's you doing 90 or 95, and the person in the back, is who's supposed to be your partner, is sitting back just riding on a 10 or 5%, that's not healthy. And if there's no bouncing back, that's not healthy, and that's not an authentic love. It's a artificial love to me. And
Right. That's a
it
sign you're with a bloodsucker.
yes.
You're
And
with a
so
bloodsucker like that.
you shouldn't feel bad. You should never feel bad that, okay, I might have to lean on my divine masculine a little more today, or my divine masculine has to lean on me a little bit more today because I can't be strong today. That's part of being in that relationship, and it's work every single day. And some people get, and we have this artificial, again, we're going to go back to the artificial. People have this artificial view of what a relationship and what marriage and all this stuff should be. And they don't want to put in the work. It is work. But when you have a mutual exchanging of this loving energy, it's work that you love to do. You, if that makes sense. It's work
Yeah,
that you love to get through. It's
that's a
not have
labor of love.
a labor of love. It's not, you have a job sometimes and I've been there, and you're like, oh my God, I do not want to go here. And then you have a job where you're like, oh my gosh, yes, there are days where I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't feel like going, but I'm loving what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? And so you're willing to push past those days, and you have less of those days and more happy, beautiful exchanges of energy than you'd have not, if that makes sense.
That's right. No, you're right. The good outweighs the bad. It can't be like you always say, rainbows and butterflies all the time, but the good has to outweigh the bad overall. We can't have, one-sided relationships. And I think you touched on something so very important, and I know you want to get back to the article, but with the artificiality of life today, people go into relationships having this idea of what they see on TV, and they think they're going to emulate that, and the reality is so different, that this is why people are going, they're hopping from people to people looking for this utopia that they see portrayed, but that's not real. Real love is work, just like you said. It's not always rainbows and butterflies. It's a combination of two people working towards the same goal, and working towards a life with the same goals, or however you want to put it. But we're not emulating technology here. This is not, love cannot be replicated on in a technological form or an artificial form. Go on now. I know you want to get to that article, boo.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And I'm glad you said that. And for me, it is, the rainbows and the butterflies are with me always. We just go through them, and sometimes they get clouded because of life. There are things in your relationships, and this goes, and I'm saying this for all types of relationships. I'm taking a step back from the partnership for all types of relationships. If you are giving more to a relationship, whether it's social, whether it's friends, whether it's family, whether it's whatever, and you're not receiving, you know, a beautiful balance and energy. If you're always pouring into somebody else's cup and they're either not pouring back into you or barely doing it, then it's imbalance. And
Mm.
that's an artificial form of a friendship, form of a relationship. And it's up to you to address it. And it's up to you to say, hey, I want to continue in that. So, no, you're absolutely right. And it's absolutely in all relationships. You have to work at all relationships if you want all relationships to grow. Because I don't want to be, I don't want to, and I'm going back to the divine, the partnership. I don't want to love you the same way that I loved you 2 months ago. My
Mm.
love, my love is changing just like my energy and my frequency. And so as I'm changing and growing, my love is going to change and grow as we become, more in tune, and as we better understand each other, and we better understand ourselves. And so your love for me, that's stagnant. If I love you the same way I did when we first got together, to me there's a problem. That's
Oh,
just my opinion.
that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And it goes the same. Seeing, I see like such a common theme here. Love, love itself, the idea of it and the power of it kind of transcends all the different relationships. So this can even be said for the love for a child. It grows. Your change, how you love your child as they grows together in tandem. You're not loving your little, or you're not loving your 14-year-old the same way you would love him as if he was 2. You have to adapt in the way, tough love comes in at 14, and it does not necessarily come in at 2. Well, maybe it does, but all of the love changes over time. But it can't be, it's like energy, right? It cannot be created or destroyed. It's just changing throughout. Wow, This is some deep,
Yeah.
deep,
Yeah.
deep.
No, I totally agree with you. Hi, Jill. It's good to see you, Mama. I'm so sorry about your broke leg. We'll definitely be sending love and healing energies to you. I'm really glad to see you. Um, you're absolutely right. You can't, it's like a different type of love and attention that you have for your infant than you have for your 7 year old. You know what I'm saying? And your infant is going to be like, or your toddler, they don't know better in a sense, but your older child knows better in a sense. So you're going to have to give that tough love. And so as your children grow, your relationship changes and the way you love them changes. Not that you stop loving them, but in the way you change, in the way they're changing and accept your love is changing. So it's always changing. So we should never, when people, I hear people, I love you just like I loved you when I met you 30 years ago. Don't tell me nothing like that. Okay. I don't want to hear you say you love me like you did in the beginning. I want to hear, oh my gosh, it just grows, it's gotten deeper and deeper and stuff like that. So
Right, not
that's just,
puppy love anymore.
it's not puppy love. We've grown from puppies, now we're some old hounds, okay? I need you to love me like an old hound, like we've been through. Um so there's one more thing, no, two more things. Loving from a long distance actually strengthens the bond. Love makes wounds heal faster. And like I said, um, that article, there's some other stuff in there, but we're already at an hour and 6 minutes, and there's some other stuff I want to talk about before we call it a quits. But you know, once again, when we have loving, balancing relationships, it helps to build and maintain our own self-love. That is very important to me. It's like you know how to build and maintain your own self-love, but it's always great when you have people or someone in your life that helps you realize your self-love, like, and says, reminds you that you're worth something. That's beautiful. And it makes you a better person, at least for me. And someone told me once um, that my self love, that they're not responsible for my self love, and that my self love is my own responsibility. And I totally agree to that. My self love and my self worth and your self love and your self worth is totally your responsibility, nobody else's. But when you're a person who lacks an understanding or you lack self love, and it pours out to you and you're sharing that energy to your significant other or your family or friends or people, your lack of self-love affects how someone else views their self-worth and their self-love. So you're not
Mm,
responsible for your self-love, but you're responsible at how, either building or tearing down somebody else's self-love or self-worth. So I just wanted to um, put that out there. So go ahead, Mary.
oh no, I was just gonna say that, I mean, that's very powerful, really. And the way, it's so interesting how we work off of each other's energies. Because if you're with somebody, whether whatever kind of love we're talking about here, it really could be anything. When you're with somebody who you're connected to, um, on a energetic level, let's say, they could they can act like an amplifier. So, and I mean a big amplifier, right? And that could be for good, and that could make you beam the most loving grace available to us on this planet, or that could amplify some darkness. So even if you're with somebody who you love and you mutually love each other, but and you're energetically locked, I feel like there is such a I don't know what you would call it. I guess it is a relationship between your energies where they can amplify something, and that is their responsibility. Like you just said, if they're putting off some weirdness and some darkness that is affecting your own self-love, they need to take responsibility for that, and they need to put their energy out in a different way.
Totally agree. Yugen Bliss, the road to happiness. I was actually going to say something about you in a little bit. Much love to you, and thank you so much from my soul for you being here. I love you. I love your energy. I love how you love, and you are just an absolute beautiful soul being that this plane of existence needs. So I just want to put that out there. But you're right. And what we do, and if we ourselves as individuals are causing someone to feel less than, or for them to question their self-worth, we have to swallow that pill as well. You know what I'm saying? If if I made you feel bad about yourself, in a way, or I responded in a way, we have to take accountability for that as well. So
Oh, I agree. I agree. And I used to have a much harder time because it's not, you know what, it's not easy to take responsibility when you hurt somebody, especially if you know you hurt them. But as I've gotten older, I'm not I don't want to sound weird. I'm not proud to admit when I'm wrong, but I kind of am because when I'm wrong, I'm almost like, you know what? There's nothing else to lose here, so I'm just going to admit it and we're going to move on, and I want everybody to accept my apology. And everybody makes these gaffes or mistakes, and a lot of the time when we're not realizing that we're saying something, or it comes out real weird, or like, it's a genuine mistake, that somebody else might not even feel comfortable telling you, like, oh man, you know what, that actually came out real weird and you hurt me. But I think, I don't know, as you grow in a relationship, it's important to both, say, hey, you hurt me in this way, and I just want to let you know. And it's also, like you just said, super important, probably more so important, to accept responsibility and try to heal over that wound.
oh, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Okay, no, I agree with that. And there's another article that talks about being in love, and loving also makes you want to, well, for some people, like I said, when it's a balanced love, when it's, a mutual exchange of love, when you hurt your other person, or you think you hurt them or offend them, you're more quick to recognize it, and just to apologize and say I didn't mean it, or ask for forgiveness or forgive. You're more likely, you know what I'm saying? That it's neat that you said that, because that's in that other article. I'm gonna go through.
Go ahead.
Yes, we'll have to go through that article um next time, but I'm gonna go through these comments really. What's that? SSS Store Grocer. Greetings. Beautiful day. Thank you for being here. Um,
Yeah,
let's
shout out
see.
to the chat. I love you guys.
Yes, beautiful chat, and people who may be watching in the shadows, and those that will watch hopefully later on.
Yes,
Thank you so
yes.
much. We love and appreciate you guys. And Sally Sue, we love you. We miss you up
Oh,
here,
Sally
Mama.
Sue, we miss you. Yes.
Let's see. Oh, beautiful day. Hey, peace to you, Dark Million. Um, let's see. Let's see. I'm trying to go through. I'm still so slow about this, Mary.
No, hey, listen, we're learning together, girl. I'm gonna read the chat too.
I'm so
See.
slow. I'll be like saying stuff and not highlighting what I say. Um, I hate zombies. And in this whole zombie apocalypse, the apocalypse is the revealing of truth.
Yes, yes.
It's not what you think it is. Oh, all these zombies are going to be. It is the revealing of truth. And to me, it's the revealing not only of the truth of the systems we have been taught to believe in and to stand for and everything else, but it's the ultimate truth of the people who are in our lives. We are seeing people for who they truly are, and we're
Yes.
seeing ourselves for who we really are. This is an apocalypse. It's a much needed apocalypse.
But listen,
You
check
know,
it out. If
okay,
you
go ahead,
how
girl.
how scary would it be? Because I thought about, this is so crazy you just said that. I've been thinking about that a lot too. And how crazy would it be, though, and how scary would it be if the revealing in this apocalypse shows that you are the zombie? You know,
Mm,
the,
mm.
you know what I mean? Like that would make it super scary, and that would seem like some sci-fi type of stuff. If you, it's revealed that all of a sudden, you find out you're the fucking zombie. Pardon my French. Go on. I just think about some weird stuff sometimes.
No,
But go on,
you're
girl. Go on.
no, you're absolutely right. I love it because it's like you see your reflection. You see that man in the
Mm,
mirror.
mm,
Like Ian says, and you're looking at that man in the mirror, that person in the mirror, and you realize I'm not as awake as I've been
mm.
claiming to be. You
Yeah.
know, I'm still I love what you just said. Beautiful day, Pineal Power, Sean. Much love. Thank you for being here. I totally love what you just said, Mary. Look at
We are
I love
syncing up.
Sean. I love Sean. He is always like now, when I see numbers for me, when I see like numbers like this, I always think it's my higher self or my guides telling me something or giving me an answer to questions that but some now here lately, as of lately, I see these numbers and the first I see pineal power and I start laughing. I'm like, this boy, I'm like, this boy in this numbers, he'll be like, in a deep conversation, he'll be like, just so everybody knows, it's 2:22, and there's 222 people in the chat.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah. Last
and
night he goes,
I
it's
love it. I
11:11
love
on
it.
the East Coast. Just so
Yes, I love it. I
11:11
love
on the
it. I
East
love
Coast with the
it.
full moon. And now
Okay.
I think about that type of stuff too, though. You're right.
I do think about that, or I'll be looking at a number and I'm like, okay, it's 222, which you break it down, it's really 111. So we have three ones here. What does that mean? Like that, I do that with numbers. So
It
I will
goes
look at my
deep.
I will look at my numbers. I'll look at license plates and I'm like, this adds up to 13. 3 plus the 1 equals the 4. 4 is stability. What am I unstable in? So yeah. But
I
anyway,
want to
so
say shout out Red Rose.
oh, it's
Hello,
Did I miss?
Queen.
I'm so far behind Red Rose.
No, you're
Beautiful
good.
day.
I'm only getting like a very small, it's like my chat cuts off, like I can't go back at all. So I'm just trying to see who I could see before they disappear on me.
I know.
Lizzo, I love you.
Rick Back, I love you so
Aw.
much, buddy.
We have such a great
Oh,
community, right?
I know.
These
Red
people
Squid, I
are,
love you. Oh my gosh, I really do. And I'm
oh,
telling
Red
you,
Squid.
he puts out such great information. And every single stream, I don't care how powerful the wisdom is, he go crack me the hell up. And there are times like, I'll be listening and it's nighttime. I'm laying down by my little one and I'll have to get up because I'm laughing at him. And he has a great way of humor. And he's one of the few that I really call real ones because he doesn't care. He's speaking this truth and he will, I don't know. Much respect to you, Squid. We all love you, and we do have such a beautiful community, and I love it. And we don't always agree on the same things and topics, but we have, as a community, a beautiful mutual balancing energy of love for one another, and that's what I
Right.
love.
That's
So
right.
and so, sugar, you are right. We do need to have a women's weekend retreat.
Oh, I'm
Hell,
into it.
I need it seriously.
Oh,
And
I think we all need it, right? We all need it.
yes, oh, Lizzo, my partner passed 4 years ago. I love is so with me, and I search no more. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, Lizzo, I just want to. I wish I could give you a hug. We're sending hugs energetically to you. We love you so much. Um, Ladies, we do not. We do need some soft bomb sounds. Lizzo, I love you so much. You're going to be in our thoughts. Okay. Oh my goodness. My K would draw me romantic pictures, not photos and emails. That is absolutely beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful.
Who said
But
that?
Lizzo, because he said he lost
Oh,
his love. Um,
that is beautiful. Uh,
Oh, oh my goodness.
true romance
That's
right
true
there.
love. And it's,
Yes.
that's beautiful. And even, the separating of the physical doesn't separate that energetic bond and love. So beautiful
No,
day,
you're
Red
right.
Rose. And so I'm trying to get through here. I'm an old scruffy dog. Oh, OTW is
You ain't no
watching
damn
from
old scruffy
work.
dog. Stop it now.
Lizzo said I'm an old scruffy dog. Oh, OTW. Don't you get in trouble trying to listen to us. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. And I really appreciate you. Um, I really do. There's our Sally Sue. Um, okay. I'm trying to get through this. Y'all work with me, okay? Okay, let's see. Oh, there's Call for Zero. Hi, Call for
Oh,
Zero.
hi, Call for Zero.
Much love to you in Nevada.
And
Um,
OTW. I didn't say hi to you.
let's see. I'm trying, guys. I'm so slow. Oh my god. Look at there's probably like okay. I'm trying.
You're not slow, you're thorough.
Okay, let's see. I don't want to because I listened back on one of them and I missed some people and I felt really bad. I was like, y'all take y'all's time to come here and it means so much. Um oh, Don Tracy, beautiful day, sis. Thank you so much for stopping by. Um okay, I'm caught up. Okay, there we go. I'm caught up. Yay.
Woohoo.
So Mary, I'm gonna let you have the floor. If you want to say anything, give us some of your beautiful Jersey wisdom. I love you, my
Oh
sis.
my goodness.
And I'm
Jersey wisdom.
gonna
Oh
I love
boy.
you so I love you so much. I'm gonna tell you this, and you mean so much to me. And I'm really glad that you're here and that you agreed to do this with me. The connection was real. And like I told you when you first clicked in a stream and you said hello, and I was like, whoa. And I said hello to you. I was like, wow. I said, I feel connected to this lady. I was like, but the energy connections that we are having, they're very real and true. And I'm so grateful. I've learned so much from you. I can't wait for us to start talking about gardening because this lady right here, this is one thing I don't do. She makes her own essential oils. I cannot wait for her to be able to pour her wisdom out about that. She is Spitfire. I love her. I love Sally Sue. And starting next week, I'm going to try to reach out to some people because I want other people to come up here and let us all have conversations and not just the ladies. We're not a he woman man hating club. So
Right. We're not ultra
we
feminist.
we're not, and so my desire, I'm going to put him on the spot right now. The very first guest I really want to have is Ian. I really want you to consider it. And because of you, we are all connecting and living dreams that we never thought we would live. They may be small to some, but they are great to us. So the ladies and I want you to be our first guest on the panel. So yeah, I'll put you on the
Do it,
spot
Ian. Do
because
it.
if you don't do it, then
Mm.
no, we would really love it. And so I was like, that's the first person I would really love, and then we will, of course, have so many different people I want to ask, and there's never any pressure. But some of y'all just be ripping it up in the chat. I've learned so much, and I'm like, come and rip it up here so we can hear your wisdom because it's not about us. It's not about us up here. It's about us and everybody learning and exchanging energy. So, anyway,
No, I agree. And I want to say, the people in the chat that I'm always chatting with, I can tell that if they can articulate little snippets of such bombs and such banger information in the chat, then I know if they come up here, then forget it. I mean, it's just going to be on fire. So I agree with what you just said, and I want to tell you that I love you so much. I love Sally Sue so much. I love everybody in this community so much. But I'm so thankful that um, I'm able to do this with you. And it makes me feel not crazy, because it could be very lonely if you are surrounded by people who have drunk the Kool-Aid and all that. And you can start to question your own sanity, you know. So I'm just thankful that I could speak with you guys, and I don't know, say what's on my mind without feeling like somebody's gonna, you know, make a hot tip on some hotline for me like I'm a maniac, you know what I mean? So I just love you, and thank you so much for letting me come up with here with you and dealing with myself, you know.
Always, always beautiful. Love, love, love. I love you. Oh, just JP, beautiful day. Thank you. Um, and so I'm gonna say this. Earlier in the week, this is how energy for me works. Earlier in the week, I'm subscribed to this channel called Eugene Bliss, Road to Happiness. His channel is in my description box. Please, please, please go sub over there. What he does, he has his own things, and he writes poetry, and, he has a beautiful family, but he really um, gets other people where he thinks, it's beautiful and loving, and he shares it out because he wants to share love to the world. And I'm all about the love game, and some of his posts cause me to cry in a beautiful way, and I appreciate him so much. And he did something that touched my soul when I needed it. And he edited a video and posted it of me and on his channel, and he shared it. And then the comment he wrote to me was, when I wrote the comment, his response was absolutely so beautiful, and it made me weep in such a beautiful way. So Eugene Bliss, The Road to Happiness. Thank you so much for the soul being that you are. We need people like you in this plane of existence. And you are changing the world, and you are touching lives one soul at a time, because you have touched mine. And I'm so glad to be part of your community over there as well. So much love for you. And his channel is in the description box. And I'm going to end with this. Actually, Bella last night made me think about, some Michael Jackson songs, like Heal the World and everything like that. I remember when that song came out, I was a little girl, and I used to cry because I literally wanted the world to be healed. I was crying because I didn't understand why people didn't want love. I didn't understand why I saw other little children on the commercials crying and hungry, and I wasn't hungry. I wanted change. I wanted change for love. And so she was talking about that. And so there are three beautiful quotes I didn't even know he said. And the first one is, people need love. It's the most powerful emotion in the world. Okay, agreed. Um, and you can cut me off whenever you want, Mary, if you have something to say, okay?
No, no, you go.
Um, if you enter this world knowing you are loved, and you leave this world knowing the same, then everything that happens in between can be dealt with. That was so strong and powerful for me. Enter the world knowing you're loved, and leaving knowing you're loved. That's the
That's
last one.
beautiful.
It's beautiful. The foundation of all human knowledge, the beginning of human consciousness, must be that each and every one of us is an object of love. And I'm going to end it with that. Thank you guys so much. Oh, I'm going to read the quote again, or the positive affirmation for today. I feel great about myself and my future. I feel great about myself and my future. I feel great about myself and my future. And I really feel great about this stream. It may not seem like a lot to some people, but this is beautiful. Loving is deep. Loving yourself. It can help heal a lot of damaged people, a lot of damaged children who grow up to be damaged adults, who in turn will help damage somebody else. So love is big, love is true, love is powerful. I love you guys. You'll have a beautiful rest of your week and weekend. And until we meet and see each other again, much love to you guys. Mwah. Have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. Okay.
Peace out, guys.
All right. Bye. Much love.